We wake into a quiet that most people fear, not because it is empty, but because it exposes something they have spent their lives avoiding: themselves. There is no noise to hide behind, no voices to validate us, no presence to distract us from the weight of our own thoughts. And so, many wait. They wait for someone to text, to call, to invite them into motion, as if life begins only when another person acknowledges them. But life does not begin when someone else shows up. Life begins the moment we stop waiting. We have been conditioned to believe that movement requires permission, that experience requires company, that courage requires an audience. But the truth stands quietly, unmoved by our hesitation. We are responsible for our own steps. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And yet, we continue to look outward, hoping someone will give us what we refuse to give ourselves: direction. This is where the shift begins. Not in a crowd, not in a conversation, but in the stillness of a decision. The decision to leave the house alone. The decision to move without approval. The decision to act, even when no one is watching. Because the moment we stop waiting for people, we start becoming someone worth following. 1. We accept that waiting is a form of weakness disguised as comfort. We tell ourselves we are being patient, that we are simply waiting for the right moment, the right person, the right energy. But beneath that justification is something far less noble. It is avoidance. It is fear, dressed in language that makes it feel acceptable. Waiting feels safe because it removes responsibility. If nothing happens, we can blame the absence of others instead of confronting our own inaction. But we know the truth. Deep down, we feel it every time we hesitate to step outside alone. There is a quiet voice that reminds us, you could go right now. You could move. You could act. And yet we silence it, choosing instead the temporary comfort of stillness. Seneca warned of this when he said, "While we are postponing, life speeds by." Time does not wait with us. It moves, indifferent to our excuses. When we rely on others to initiate our lives, we surrender control over our own existence. We become reactive instead of deliberate, dependent instead of sovereign. And the longer we remain in this state, the more it reinforces itself. The mind begins to believe that action is impossible without external stimulus. So we confront it directly. We name it for what it is. Not patience, not caution, but fear. And once it is seen clearly, it begins to lose its power. Because fear thrives in ambiguity, not in truth. We do not wait because we must. We wait because we choose to, and that means we can choose differently. 2. We step outside. Without permission, there is a moment, small, almost insignificant, where everything changes. It is the moment we stand at the door, hand on the handle, and realize there is nothing stopping us. No one is coming to open it for us. No one is required to walk beside us. The world is not closed to us simply because we are alone. And yet this moment feels heavier than it should. Because stepping outside alone is not just physical, it is psychological. It is a declaration that we do not need validation to exist in the world, that our presence does not require approval. Epictetus taught, "Don't seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do happen." The door is already there. The path is already open. The only resistance is internal. When we step outside alone, we begin to reclaim something that has been slowly eroded, our independence. Not the superficial kind that boasts about self-sufficiency, but the deeper kind that does not flinch in solitude. The kind that can move without applause. At first it feels unnatural. The silence follows us. The absence of conversation becomes louder than any noise. But if we remain, if we continue walking, something begins to shift. The discomfort fades, not because the world changes, but because we do. We realize that the act itself was never the problem. It was the belief that we couldn't do it alone. And once that belief cracks, it never fully repairs. 3. We learn to sit with ourselves without escaping. Most people are not afraid of being alone. They are afraid of what surfaces when they are. thoughts they have ignored, emotions they have buried, questions they have avoided. Solitude does not create these things, it reveals them. So when we leave the house alone, we carry more than just our bodies. We carry our entire inner world with us, and for the first time, there is no distraction strong enough to suppress it. This is where many turn back. Not physically, but mentally. They reach for their phones, their music, anything to drown out the confrontation. But we resist that urge. We allow the silence to speak. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If we never face those thoughts, we never shape the soul. We remain at the mercy of whatever arises instead of becoming the one who governs it. Sitting with ourselves is not passive. It is active observation. It is the discipline of noticing without reacting, of feeling without collapsing, of thinking without becoming consumed. And over time, something remarkable happens. The chaos begins to organize itself, not because it disappears, but because we learn how to navigate it. We become familiar with our own mind. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. What once felt unbearable becomes instructive. And in that process, we gain something far more valuable than comfort. We gain control. 4. We detach from the need to be seen. There is a subtle craving that drives much of human behavior, the desire to be witnessed, to be acknowledged, to have our existence reflected back to us through the eyes of others. It is not inherently wrong, but when it becomes a requirement, it becomes a weakness. When we go out alone, we confront this craving directly. There is no one to impress, no one to validate our choices, no one to confirm that what we are doing matters. And at first, this feels like emptiness. But it is not emptiness, it is freedom, Seneca observed. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. When we depend on recognition, we are always lacking, always searching, always waiting. But when we act without the need to be seen, we become complete in our actions. The act itself becomes enough. The walk is enough. The movement is enough. The existence is enough. We stop performing. We start living. And in that shift, we remove one of the greatest sources of internal conflict, because we are no longer divided between who we are and how we are perceived. We become aligned. What we do is no longer for display. It is for development. 5. We build strength through repetition of solitude. One day of walking alone changes something, but it is not enough, because the mind always seeks to return to its old patterns. It whispers that the experience was temporary, that next time we should wait again. So we do not rely on a single act. We repeat it. We leave the house alone again, and again, and again. Each time the resistance weakens. Each time the hesitation shortens. Each time the action becomes more natural. This is how strength is built, not through intensity, but through consistency. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly," and independence is no exception. It is forged through repeated decisions to act without support. Over time, solitude stops feeling like an obstacle. It becomes a baseline, a default. We no longer question whether we can do things alone. We assume it. And this assumption changes everything, because it removes limitations that were never real to begin with. We begin to see opportunities where we once saw barriers. We begin to move where we once hesitated, not because the world has changed, but because we have. Swanks, we become the one who moves first. At the end of all this, something fundamental shifts in our identity. We are no longer the ones who wait. We are the ones who act, the ones who initiate, the ones who move without needing a signal. And this does not just apply to leaving the house, it applies to everything. We stop waiting for motivation. We create it through action. We stop waiting for confidence. We build it through repetition. We stop waiting for others to lead. We become the ones who lead ourselves. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." And this is where that philosophy becomes real. Not in theory, but in behavior. Because the person who can leave the house alone without hesitation is not just someone who goes outside. They are someone who has mastered a fundamental truth. that action does not require permission. And once we understand that, there is very little left that can hold us back. We step forward, not because someone told us to, not because someone joined us, but because we chose to. And that choice, repeated enough times, becomes who we are.